This was due to a confusion between me and him over various emails where his computer had gone wrong and all sorts of things like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, so
Computer's gone wrong.
there isn't anything in the programme, so he's still a bit of an enigma, really. But he's always been Mr. Odenarter from my point of view, and he thinks it's about 25 years that he's been recorder for Odenarter in the county. And he got into it, he might say more, but he got into it through involvement with the Dragonfly reserve that Miriam Rothschild set up.
Yeah, Roy Mackenzie dogs.
Yeah, yeah.
At Elmdale, if anybody went. No.
Up in Northamptonshire. A fantastic book about it, incidentally.
It's worth reading.
Called The Dragonfly Diaries,
yeah.
Which mentions Alan.
Does it?
Yes, yes.
I must get a fee from him.
But Alan's going to talk to us about dragonflies and damselflies in box. So, over to you.
Thank you. I'm a bit tired, sorry. I just come back from Dorset. Literally late last night. Very nice, got cooked. Right, so there's a lot of pictures. Do ask, how strict are we on time?
Very strict.
Good. This is death by pictures, by the way. Okay. Yes, so 2024, 17 damsels, 14 dragons. We have got 38, that's constantly increasing. And thanks for everybody that sends in records. I've yet to see a damselfly in Bucks. I've seen a lot in Dorset, but nothing in here.
You mean this year?
This year. Yeah. Okay. What is going to be interesting is who sends in records to iRecord. Oh, that's so that's it. We need more people sending in records. If you've got a photograph, send it in anyway. Numbers are dropping constantly, and I've found that with a lot of people who submit records. I'm talking with the BDS about they're going to try and do a publicity push to get more people to put on our record. Now, I know a lot of you do. If I go out for a weekend surveying, it can take me 2 or 3 days to put the records in, so I do realise it's fun. I did over 2,000 validations the other day, which mostly are mine. And dragonflies. What is interesting, we do get club-tailed occasionally. I think that was quite an unusual one. I've had records of being in car grills, which is also interesting. As you can see going through there, common hawker, we've got one record. We're still, well, the BDS are still saying, are you sure? Well, the person who said that in is good. But you can see that the numbers vary enormously. Some of the species, this I'm sure reflects recorders and not abundance. Yeah? Right. Scarce chaser. They are around in Buckinghamshire, but they're still not very, very, very common. We have got records up North Bucks and Milton Keynes. Oh yeah, last year I broke my wrist, so basically I stuck to around Milton Keynes, so I didn't go very far. This should be prolific now along the Ouse and Ousel up in North Bucks, but we're not seeing it. I've got no idea why not, apart from the pollution. They've done some kick sampling up there and they've basically found it dead. Yeah, there's very, very little in the Great Ouse up round Only area. This should be around. It's down the road at Felmersham and a few at Northampton. Mark Tyrrell's got it in Northampton. So why we haven't got that is beyond me. It is really easy to identify if you find the exuvie. Are we happy with that, or do we need to have a field trip? The lateral spines and the dorsal spines are really prominent. If you find anything looks like a chaser, that's how you identify it. It's as simple as that. Happy? The next one is lesser emperors. This is dear old Warren. This was a shame. Warren had it in the boating lake at where the H is
Calvert.
Calvert, thank you. Calvert in there. This species is erupted most regularly seen around big lakes and water bodies. Okay. This has really taken off. So if you do see this and you do see the ovipositing, that'd be good. These I witnessed ovipositing in Thurston Lake in Milton Keynes, but we've seen nothing. So whether they survived is doubtful. That's the only other good one. Vagrant Emperor, 1 record of bucks. Okay. So that's a key one. That's one that was caught in Orkney, where my friend is up there. So these things do travel quite a distance. Don't worry about identification. Golden ring, we've had increasing records of golden ring, so thank you very much to those that sent them in. There's been 3 records last year and the year before of these spreading. So at one time, historically they were in butts, then they've gone, and they seem to be coming back in a few places. Definitely worth doing. There's a few more. Okay, anybody in here that's an Odin artist? No? We won't try and catch them out then. What's the middle one?
Without trying to tell us. Southern Hawker?
Azure. Azure Hawker. Yeah, just to try and figure that. Okay, right, so we're going to kick off then. Emperors, doing really, really, really well. Very, very common in most water bodies. Do we need to go through any ID on this? Just happy to see a picture. Okay. Yeah. This is an interesting shot. This is a female emperor egg laying with azure damselflies egg laying on the wing. Yeah. Weird things happen. Very common, doing very well in bucks. Common hawker, yeah. Well, these are Shropshire. They used to be, but I get a lot of records sent in that aren't common hawker, it's migrant hawker. So do watch that one if you send them in. The BDS don't like it. Do they? No. You haven't not come across any yet on our records.
Who are you looking at?
You, Martin.
I don't look at BDS records, do I?
No, the Dragonfly records that you've gone through.
Oh, no, that wasn't on the list, I don't think.
This is the goodie, Norfolk Hawker. That is not far, no. Mark Tyrrell's got it in Northampton. I've had one person submit a record without a photograph in Milton Keynes, which, because of the species, I can't really accept. But this is going to be on our doorstep. It's pretty well populated at Felmersham and a few other places, which is only a stone's throw from North Bucks only and through there. So this could appear anywhere around the country. It's spreading Cornwall all the way through. Okay. Big green eyes on the adult. Brown hawker's been a bit iffy, it's not doing quite so well. This one is the one that will fly around your barbecue at night. If you don't have a barbecue, you won't. So it's quite common around barbecues, summer evenings. These are doing quite well in places, but in other places the population is disappearing. Southern hawker. Okay, happy? Yeah, just look at the antihumerals. You'll see these broad antihumerals is normally southern hawker. They fly, everything's got a different jizz when they fly, you can tell that. Migrant hawkers, again, these have been doing quite well, but nothing like the populations that were 20 years ago. It's pretty poor, but they're okay. Hairy, Brachytron, that's doing quite well. That's the one you should be seeing now. You'll often hear it clattering through the roots. It'll fly very low through reed beds. This is quite common this time of year. Southern migrant, that's a rarity. We've got more records, thanks to this weather, of them coming in. I've yet to see one in Bucks, but we've got quite a few records coming in now. But again, this is one ideally you want to photograph with them. Subtly different. Club-tailed, the exuvia is really obvious when you see it. The tame Angora in a few places, this was quite a dominant species, but that hasn't really been showing for years in the numbers it was, but you can still find them in a few places. It's the only dragonfly that the eyes are independent. Yep, so they've got two separate eyes, so if you see that, it's club-tailed. Okay. Four-spot chaser, pretty abundant. It's the only dragonfly I've seen so far, and that was on Brownsea Island. These things still fly, even with two wings that didn't emerge properly. They still fly, but with the prey will probably take it. But they're quite common. They are doing reasonably well. Broad-body chaser, again doing reasonably well. And can you see this one? Is it male or female? Yeah, it's actually a blue female. Talking to Steve Cam on this one, you get this occasionally. Okay. So that's a lady with a blue pigment. Downies are doing really well. Having walked around most of Milton Keynes last year, I found these in 8 new sites. So this species is expanding rapidly. Again, that should be mirroring down here, if the ponds and the water bodies are quite well covered with vegetation. That's doing really well. Keeled skimmer, Burnham Beaches. There's a few other sites, but Burnham's really good for this. These egg laying where the cattle have poached, gone through. It's a little pool of water. I haven't been there since before COVID, like a lot of people. It's messed me up. I think that's still a good population there. That's quite rare. Black-tailed skimmer is the other one, really abundant most places. There are 1 or 2 sites that are private and absolutely heaves with these. A good one for them is Stowe. If you're up that way, Stowe is very good for this species. Black darter, yeah, we've got a few interesting records. They were down Burnham Beaches and Black Park, and they have been picked up 1 or 2 at a private site, which some of you might know where southern emerald damselfly was found, which they filled the pond in. Yeah, know that one? It was on a private site, and the landowners had filled the pond in. So that's around there, and it's quite uncommon these days. That's black darter. This is a goodie, red vein darter. Thanks to Roy and Julia for passing it through. We've had 1 or 2 records of these. I think he had 12. But again, only really hot weather we pick these up. And you can tell these by the blue on the mature on the eye. That's the easy one on that. That would be a good record to have anywhere. Ruddy darter, doing quite well. Can't really say too much about that. The darters are doing really nicely. Ruddy darter doesn't have any panels on its thorax, and the legs are all black, whereas common darter will have a yellow stripe, like that one, and the white panels. Both of these are doing reasonably well, and I'm sure, as I said earlier, this is people not recording them, because when I go out, I see these just about everywhere. Happy? Quiet? Sleep?
That's 3 minutes now.
3 minutes. I normally do this in lesson 5. Banded demoiselle, beautiful demoiselle, are really doing well. They're cracking, they're absolutely superb. White-legged have started to re-emerge. That was when I did my degree, that's a species I studied on. That was abundant around the rivers and it disappeared through pollution and started to come back. Small red-eyed is the new one. It's been around for about 15 or more years. That's doing really well. It's probably one of the most abundant damselflies on those waters. That's the large red. We can go through this one. Mass emergence, which is common. Blue tails, they're suffering. This is a species that would tolerate some pollution, and it seems to be failing on that now. Small red damselfly, so red legs, this small red. Again, that's a spot near where the pond was filled in. Large red damselfly, which is the one you should be seeing on the wing now, which has black legs. Emerald, once very, very common, is less common these days. They've got displaced, but a lot of the ponds have become really ephemeral, they dry out. Willow emerald, yep, really common now. Most places you'll find willow emerald. This is the one that will egg lay into numerous species of trees and other material, bramble. Oops. Okay. That's the close-up. You can tell willow emerald by the spur on the thorax. That's one of the best ones to look at. It's not difficult. That's where it lays the galls or the scars in a willow or a ash. It's very common. And you can see 15, 20 pairs on these. It's quite common. Oh, there's an interesting one. So there's 2 species there. So you've got willow emerald and small red-eyed. Nothing will happen, it's just the males grab anything. Answer that. Southern emerald damselfly, that was the one that was on a private site, which there are still a few around, but the pond's gone. Azure damselfly is quite common, doing reasonably well. Common blue, I've seen them lately, again they're doing reasonably well. This is the beauty, we've actually found, we've got a record now of one in Milton Keynes. They are just down the road again in Felmersham, and they must be spreading, and they could be easily overlooked on many water bodies around Buckinghamshire. That's doing quite well now, and I record. Put your records in, please, with a mugshot if you can. I did do a report for the BDS, and they said not more than 500 words, so I found I did 1,500 words. So when I get the okay, then we'll put that on the big site. Yeah. Okay. Questions?
Yes.
No?
Time for a couple of questions.
No.
Phil.
I find a lot of dragons are a bit of a nightmare to get close to those dragons if you haven't got a camera with you. So for incidental observations, it sounds like you'll have common species to come in without the photograph.
Yeah, because it's the old classic, who, what, when, where. So who? Do I know you? That's what it comes to my judgment. The BDS have queried me on a couple like Common Hawker. They've said, I know this guy, he's very, very reliable. And years ago when I was down South Bucks with Julia and Andy, I definitely saw Common Hawker. But like with the golden ring, these things are now moving. And Lesser Emperor are now moving, so you should never rule it out. But now if you send a record in, you'll get a polite message, either yet accepted, or accepted as possibly true, or question.
So I guess it's good to
Just send them in.
if it's something that you do photograph, you'll come back and say,
If you're covering like you do a certain site or two, then you build up a pattern, so that's useful. Yeah. But most things, I shouldn't say it's not difficult, because there's certain things I look at moths and go, any records are good, because you can make, at least you're saying they're there, and if you keep sending lots of records in of certain species, then someone can go down and check. Yeah.
Can you send records in from last year and the year before?
Yeah.
And the year before that, when
Yeah.
you were taking photographs of these
Yes.
things?
Yes. Yeah, this is a pet hate I've had with some people saying, "Oh, well, why are you sending in records from last year?" Because I'm too busy doing this year's. I've still got loads of records to send in from previous years.
I'm not sure if we
Yeah, just send them in. The biggest problem is a lot of people like ourselves, this time of year we're out and we are surveying, recording, you put it in your notebook and then you get round to doing it. And it's a real fun job, isn't it, sitting in front of a cube for hours and hours and hours and hours. And there's no short way around it. But just send them in. If you want to, do it on a spreadsheet, but make sure you're using the BDS, British Dragonfly Society spreadsheet, and not your own version, because then it's a nightmare.
Is there a, sorry,
Quick one, very quick.
is there a special page on iRecords for damselflies like there is for some other groups?
Yeah.
And does that help?
Yeah, yes. You just put in large, it'll come up with a selection.
Of just random?
Yeah.